Happy New Year, everybody! Yay! Alright, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't know the correct way to pronounce. And I have tried, and I feel like I may know it, but somehow I can never get it consistent. And my script keeps autocorrecting his name to Seong Gi-Hun, so I'm just going to refer to any name as their number given in the games. I'm white. You can't expect me to pronounce the simplest of things if I can't abbreviate. I am so sorry. So I don't get it, but what is up with the reviews for Squid Game Season 2? I have been listening to the absurd criticism Season 2 is getting, and although some I agree with, some just prove that the people quote-unquote reviewing the show only paid attention when violence started and tuned out as soon as the show dare show two or more characters interacting because, oh wait, what's that? The first two episodes are gulp. Narrative driven. I swear, I feel like the people who made it popular don't even understand what the show meant. In full honesty, it's probably easier to find someone who genuinely went to see Red 1 for the plot than someone that understands what Squid Game means, and I'm half joking when I say that. Player 456 is the main character of Season 1, and partial main character of Season 2, but it just depends what storyline they're going for scene by scene. He was a really well-developed character in the original show with his desperate need for cash, proving the point of what people like Player 1 and the frontman believed. He was a consistent character who did not let the greed of the 45.6 billion won get to his heart, unlike some people he knew. He did what he had to do in order to survive the games and challenges ahead, but he did not have the will or need to kill others to get more money. Even when he won, he took 1 year to actually start using the prize money, and only did to start pushing forward in life until he realized that he can use the money for good. Now, with that background knowledge out of the way, to draw back to the criticism the show is getting, I am purposely making this video about 456 instead of the newer characters to prove everyone that doubts his character arc and progression wrong, because they are factually wrong and don't understand why they're wrong. So, this is how Squid Game Season 2 teaches us how not to write a hero. Okay, I know the whole not part may sound like I'm hating on the show, but trust me when I say that this is a very positive thing towards the show, so stick with me. I should mention that in episode 2, the front man takes 456 into a car and infers that he is trying to be a hero by coming here to go back into the games. This arc starts with someone who is associated with the games calling him and telling him to get on the plane and not come back, which sparks his curiosity and his want to find out and possibly stop the games, which was a mistake on the games for even saying anything because it was only going to force the opposite reaction. The reason I bring this up is later on, 456 reveals he's played the games before, expecting that everyone was going to understand him and stop the games from continuing. But as we learn later, multiple people decided to stay in the games because he said something. The small portion of the show reveals 456's incompetence towards persuasion, that he tries the same strategy that the games tried to push him away, and once again, it completely backfires. It's important to note that 456 can't learn from mistakes that he was directly involved with. During the previous games in Red Light, Green Light, everyone went wild when the first person was shot, which made him think that shouting that they'll die if they move will help, which only makes people think he's crazy, even though he's right. He immediately makes himself out as someone that knows something others don't, by good ideas that have poor execution, that only push people away from what he's trying to preach. 456 not only has a hard time with convincing, but he's also bad with trusting. 001 in this is the front man, and although he says his name and always seems to question him, 456 puts all of his trust in him, thinking that he might be someone he can trust, even though he's well aware that all the soldiers and higher-ups have their eyes on him, because for some reason, he volunteered as tribute to come back.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
He is also trusting that all of the games will be the same he played last time, and tries to make people trust him by saying that he knows what the next game is, which also backfires because everyone realizes that they can rely on him to survive the next game, which as soon as it's different, puts him in hot water because he's immediately wrong. Oh right, here's something I haven't mentioned yet. He's way too confident in himself. Obviously, confidence is a good thing when it comes to being a hero, but confidence only affects his judgment in the show. He is a very assertive person. I'm not saying the money got to him whatsoever, but the title of sole survivor that he achieved during the first season definitely did. He is the only one standing that has the trauma of watching 455 people die around him, and he obviously feels guilty for how some of the games went for people. This gives him his passion to go back to the games, but the confidence of being the one person who survived makes him naturally think he's the group leader and he has to be the plan maker, and some people view him as a genius because he thinks he knows a thing or two and acts all confident when he says nonsense, while the other side thinks he's crazy and rebels naturally out of fear of his idiocy and wants to stay in order to save themselves and get more money. I'd say out of all of this, the thing that doesn't make sense most of all is most definitely when 456 says that in order to stop the games and such, they have to let everyone around them kill each other and hide because they have to make sacrifices so less people in the future have to die. What is so inconsistent about the statement is that the entire time he's going on about how he wants to save people. He wants to send everyone home before more of them die. He gives them tips in surviving the first game, and he even is able to gather a whole bunch of people around him to say no to the games, and for some reason, he just gives up on all of them and decides, how about we don't let anyone know about this? We let the X people kill our O's, and then we play dead so then we can save more people in the future? It's purposely written badly because it's supposed to bring out the big finale gunfight later on, but on all of the levels, that plan is flawed because it completely undoes everything 456 was trying to do all along, but that's all on purpose. Finally, to end off the entire show, the last 456 blunder for now until Season 3 comes out was even believing that he could be a hero. The sad thing is that a lot of people view themselves as a hero and believe that they can save the world, but not everyone has the ability to actually be one. There is a way to be a hero, but 456 doesn't understand that just having knowledge and an advantage of what you're getting into isn't going to immediately give you the status of a hero. The front man, the main antagonist of the season of the show, proves to everyone watching and to 456 that he is not a hero. And the final blow to prove this message is sparing 456, even though all of this was his plan, and killing his friend from the outside right in front of him, as symbolism of the blood that 456 spilled without even knowing. All of the others that are shooting at the pink soldiers are all dead besides a few lucky ones. All of the people he failed to convince in the beginning of the games to end up there, and now he has to watch his main companion die in front of him as a consequence of his own actions, and having to live with the grief of what he has done and proof that he is nothing like a hero. He has to walk away, realizing how close they almost got to figuring out the truth and putting an end to the games. Now, to tie all of this together in a nice bow, 456 is not a poorly written character in the slightest. He's a fantastically written, bumbling idiot who thinks he's doing good but actually makes no sense and screws everything up along the way. But none of this is by accident that they wrote a bad hero, but it's purposeful to go together with their main message in Season 2, which is about democracy, and how 456 is trying to make a difference and convert people to their side, but he's too much of an idiot to realize how his words can be turned against him. All of this will most definitely come back to haunt him in Season 3 and also probably convince him to find a new way of surviving and possibly ending the games too. But we won't know until later this year, whenever they decide to drop it. Although I feel like they're going to drop it last second of this year just to make us beg and wait for it. Thank you for the greatest year in my 4 years of YouTube. 25,000 subscribers in just 1 year gets me to where I am today. So I appreciate all of you, and may this year be kind to you and go your way. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm Enchanted. Bye.